where we can find that?
Yes,
In the wrestling fan.
that's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello, friends. I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And, you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. You know where we can find that?
Yes,
In the wrestling fan.
that's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello, friends. I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And, you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. You know where we can find that?
Yes,
In the wrestling fan.
that's right.
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/AwesomeCast. It's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast, and my voice fails me right at the top of the show. It is the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, ready to hang out with you guys. And I'm going to turn this around so I can see if anybody's making any faces behind me this time, for one thing. Are you drinking my Dunkin' in the screen? Is that what's happening right now? Yeah, okay. Anyways, yes, I do. We do have We are here and we have power. That's the most important thing. We have power this week. That's why we didn't have a show last week. If you were not aware of the calamity that was happening in the greater Pittsburgh area, there was a thunderstorm about 2 hours before the show, and we didn't get power until well into the next day. And of course, we were one of the fortunate ones with everybody else in Pittsburgh. I think there's something like 15,000 people in the greater area still without power a week later. So shout outs to the all the people at your company. All the people came from out of town to help put the grid back together, it seems. So it was pretty scary that one thunderstorm could do that much so quickly in the city. But anyways, back with me, who also escaped the city along with me in all the power outages, is Katie Dudas is with us, our social media photographer and avid rock collector.
Yes, and finally got the crunchy sand out of my teeth.
Oh my gosh, yes, just eating the sand, right?
Oh, so bad.
Oh, we
It
were
was
at
everywhere.
Baja SAE Arizona this past week, and we brought a lot of it with us. I still have a stack of gear, and we just pulled out. Intern John is in the studio. We pulled out a spare laptop that we use for operations, and we weren't even in the field. We're just in a barn beside the field, and it's just everything has a layer, and it's really tremendously bad for all of my equipment, probably. But anyways,
Let's say, so you know how Anakin felt.
oh, it was very much. You know what? I had a Tatooine moment actually out where we're out there though. Dave Potter was host of the iPhoneography podcast, and oh my God, you got somebody did the marathon.
New shinies.
Wow, that's a
New
lot.
spinny shinies.
Oh, it spins. Ooh. Bum, ba, bum. Nice. Look at that. Steel. Is that all from this weekend?
Yeah, well, it's the 5K on top.
Okay.
It's the half marathon here.
Okay. So you did both.
I did both, and since I got both, I got the bonus medal, the
Nice.
Steel Challenge.
And they're like over like 2 days or something, right?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
the
it wasn't
5K
like-
was on a Saturday.
You did not. So the 5K was the warm up, basically.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. I'm still
Now,
new to it.
Oh yeah, it's not as bad as the Disney ones because there is I think it's called the Goofy Challenge down at Disney, where Thursday's the 5K, Friday's the 10K, Saturday's the half marathon, and Sunday's the full marathon.
I can't imagine doing that, and then you have tickets for the rest of the day, right? And they have like night
Oh, yeah.
things. Yeah, it feels like I've gone through a marathon just doing Disney.
Mhm.
So like this is a heck of a jump. But anyways, that's cool. So I don't know if it's your awesome thing of the week. Hold on, I don't know if it's your. But I presume it will be, and you want to talk about it, So with the Pittsburgh Marathon, was it anything new this year? Of course, I got to participate
very
for
large this year.
What's that?
Nothing new per se, but very large.
Okay, like it's growth.
The
Okay.
5K actually had the most people they've had.
Wow.
I think they were just shy of 6,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
And the half marathon was around 12,000.
Mm-hmm.
And around 4,000, 5,000 for the full marathon. So it was, they say if you add up, now admittedly, now I know this because where I work full time, we also put on events, and the way you count things can get creative.
We also know this from watching WrestleMania.
Exactly. So when they say the amount of people involved with the Pittsburgh Marathon, they're talking the people who did the 5K and the half and the Saturday events and the Sunday events as separate people. So if like I did the 5K, they count me, and I did the half, they count me again. But they're also counting
Just
the
like
kids
WrestleMania.
who do the 1 mile.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they're also counting the kids who did the 1 mile run.
Mm-hmm.
And there were like 8,000 of those.
Mm-hmm.
And the toddlers and the 1 mile champions, because it's Pittsburgh Champions run. They said there were just there were just around 48,000 people that participated in an event this year.
Wow.
And next year they want to try to break 50.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, no, it was a heck of an experience. I know Katie tagged me in to help out with the relay, and we talked Riz in it as well, who he's still cursing us on his flashback post this week. I noticed. I don't know if you saw that, Katie.
This is why we don't like him.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we just point at giant holes in the desert and send it to them. It's as you do. So, but no, very cool experience, and sad I was out of town to experience it again. So awesome. Actually, is that your awesome thing of the week while we're on this?
Actually, it isn't. It is not.
Oh, what you got?
Well, a ruling just came out a few days ago saying up to now, if you have an app in the Apple App Store, any purchase has to be done through the Apple backend, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So the Kindle app, because Amazon said, we want to sell directly to the customer. We don't want to have to use the App Store. Processing, you take your 30%. That honestly, for small companies, that's worth it, because you don't have to worry about. But Amazon, Netflix, all these other companies.
That's a big chunk. When you're talking about that scale, that's a big problem.
Exactly. And the thing is, Amazon's like, we already have a processing that we have built up. Why do we have to use your system just because it's your app store? So Amazon, basically, the Kindle app was, you can only read books on the Kindle app.
Yeah.
If you want to purchase books, we can't even tell you where to purchase them. You have to go to our website, purchase them, then open it up.
And this is also the case with the Epic case. They didn't like that they had to go through their system for all the points and things you would buy in something like Fortnite, which is which really kind of kicked off all this discussion and this legal work. So, anyways, where we're at now.
And Apple lost one bit of that.
Yes.
And they said, okay, you have to do this. Well, the judge said, you haven't been doing this. You are actually going out your way to not do this. So we're requiring you right now to immediately allow this.
So did you catch how they didn't do it? Because one, they said, we'll allow you to do post processing outside of the app and link to it, but they still want 27%, I think it is, of the outside a VIG for it or whatever, right?
Yeah, even though they're not doing anything. You could literally say, okay, Apple's getting a cut because they're handling the credit card processing, they're doing, and then when you're talking about worldwide, that's a giant mess.
It
with
is.
credit card worldwide. So you could say, okay, 30%, I could see it coming down, hopefully.
Yeah.
But, I could say, okay, they should get a cut, but if I'm not purchasing through Apple, why should Apple get any cut at all?
It's a thing that could scale, as you grow and everything like that. But it's like, if you can and there's no other option, you just kind of take the profits, right? So
right,
yeah.
So the judge said you have to allow outside stores now, and you have to allow links to the outside stores. Now, they still don't have links. So like Amazon updated their Kindle app already.
Okay.
And that is in the doc. I did put a link to a screenshot photo. Hopefully it can come up. Where now, if you go to a book in the Kindle app that you want to purchase on iOS, it will now say buy book.
Okay. Oh, nice.
So and then once you click on that, it opens up the web page in a browser where you can purchase the book. So you still can't purchase it in the app using, going directly. You can't purchase it in the app, but it will link you directly where you can purchase it. So that's removing a lot of the issue. So yeah, you can see if you click where it is there, and it would be download book. Okay, I think you have to. There we go. Okay. So you can see there's that yellow bar now going across that says download book or buy book. So now that will take you right to the web page where you can buy the book. Where before,
and they weren't, and before they didn't even explain it. They're just like, hey, here's a list of books, and I hope you can figure out where to buy them somewhere else on the internet. So it was so detached, and it was so user hostile in the long run. So anyways, so they're here. So that says that Epic says that they're going to come back on the iOS like next week. I'm still waiting for the Epic Store to pop in because I keep seeing the button for it every time I go to the website. So I'm very interested in seeing that come through as well to see how that kind of goes through. So I love that, like, it took forever. I feel like this is something that should have happened like 5 years ago minimum. for this. But speed of government and judiciary, I suppose, right?
Well,
So
that and the fact that Apple realizes where Apple makes still a lot of their money from selling phones and items,
and
they understand they're having to pivot to services now.
yes,
And part of the services, they get a lot of money from that 30%.
Yep.
If you do an in-app purchase,
Mhm.
you're like, oh, I have this game and I want to buy extra gems for $10. Apple gets $3 of that.
Would you stop trolling Katie with the gem talk? Anyways, also I love the sample. Why is the sample that you chose here the book called "The End Is Always Near"? Thank you for that foreboding.
It's a happy book.
Are you reading this, and are you okay? Do you need a hug?
I'm not reading it, but
Okay.
but I'm very familiar with the author who is a podcaster, Dan Carlin, who does Hardcore History.
I've heard of this. Okay.
Yes. Hardcore History, where he comes out with a podcast episode and it's 6 hours long.
Oh yeah. Apocalyptic moments from the Bronze Age collapse to something. Sorry, it's really small. So, anyways, either way, this is good. I mean, this is good. Like the freeing
it's
this
good
up,
news for people
and you can kind of lament Apple for this, but like as companies go, that's like it's seeking the profit is kind of the it's the mission. So. In the Wall Street world and everything like that, so you can't really take them to task for that because they're doing business the way that allegedly you're supposed to do business. So, but anyways, all right. So that is the awesome thing of the week. Bye. Now let's get an awesome thing from. Nope, that button didn't work. Katie, what do you got?
I sent you a Facebook link because I'm sitting next to a celebrity right now.
Oh.
2 days ago was May the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
And I do get to play around with some of our client work, my other client work. This one, I got to bring out my little buddy next to me, my little baby, baby Yoda, Grogu, sitting next to me. And he got to go to Mancini's to check out some bread.
If you're not familiar, Mancini's is a local bread company. That's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We had a customer from a galaxy far, far away. May the 4th be with you.
There you go.
And Grogu's just pointing at some wonderful buns. The other options were like, these are the buns you were looking for. We had good times with this. But last year I dressed up as Princess Leia with the buns, and then this year I got Grogu in on it. And the best part about that is this photo was literally taken as the skies began to just do whatever it did that day with the storms so fast that I had to do it, run in the car, and we drove home so fast because it was just starting to all heck was breaking loose. So it was a very exciting moment. And yes, and he has a Sharpie holding his arm up to point in the photo. I was like, I got rubber bands and a Sharpie. That'll help him point. So tricks of the trade there. Anything can be armature.
I love the professionalism with this.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then of course we bought buns because you have to. They have, what is it, Icy Light beer buns? They're delightful.
mm-hmm.
Oh, Iron City beer buns. Those are a favorite in the household.
And
they're great.
And in case you weren't tuned into the show last year, this is what Katie did with Mancini's before. If you're on audio, you got a bread saber, and what are on your ears? Are those bagels that are bagel muffs?
Those are the buns. Those are the buns.
Those are buns.
Bun muffs.
Mancini buns.
You got got some buns on your head. There you go. So,
Princess Leia.
jeez, fantastic.
I mean, depending what movie you're talking about, they're either hair or they're headphones.
That's true too. That's true. We did not do a Schwartz post. I don't think here. So, although we should. I mean, is it like February 13th be with you is Schwartz Day perhaps? So, but oh no.
So I'll have to top this next year. Every year I have to figure out something new now. just pigeonholed myself into Star Wars puns and local marketing.
There you go.
So if you and your business need a Star Wars post,
Yeah, like
let
you
me
only
know.
like you're that special niche artisanal social media person who only does Star Wars memes.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah. If you need Star Wars memes, I gotcha. Anything else? Maybe. Might know if it involves cats. Can also do that.
Cats and Star Wars, cats x Star Wars, cats and Star Wars at the same time. However you want to go with it, you know. So,
So, do you want a little teaser for later? You know what date it is?
No. Cat Wars continues, guys. Oh no.
For later in the show.
Oh boy. oh, I just saw it in the rundown too. Thank you for that. So, where do I want to go with this? Awesome thing of the week. This is I want to say interesting, but maybe not awesome thing of the week. We're going to do at the top here. I want to bump this up officially, unofficially, because I can't think of. You know what? No, we're going to talk about. Do you want to talk about what we did this weekend, Katie? So you know what? Yeah, let's do this. Okay. So we had a weekend where we had two teams, one in outside of Fort Worth, Texas, and one in outside of Tucson, Arizona, in their respective whatever the municipalities we were in. For Aero Design East, we did West last month. We talked about here on the show. So it was a lot of just being able to execute that, and Missy and her team did a fantastic job with that, of course. And then my team did the new thing, other than new thing of us doing two things at the same time. We talk about Baja a lot on here, especially this time of the year. It's a event that we've done for ages, and this is the first time. Obviously Formula last year. We had the fortune to do that. We're going to be doing it again next week at the Michigan International Speedway. Intern John is going to be a part of that as part of the team. Excited to get them out there for that one. And a bunch of other people that have never experienced Formula before at the Speedway. So we got to get out there. I got some nice Holy Land wireless and see how they deal with the elements. And we were live streaming the 4-hour Baja Endurance. Now there's been the highlights that we've done and everything like that, and it was cool to kind of bring it live for this event. We were talking today. I was talking with the organizers today in just a post-mortem call, and the news was there. I watched the news piece. They were doing live hits with like the weather and traffic from the Baja event after we left, Katie, on that day. So, because it was weird because it was like we're leaving. I'm like, oh, the news is here. They missed everything, but I guess they had already done a piece. And but yeah, they stuck around for a couple hours. It was after Dynamics were done for the day. Like all the exciting stuff was there, but they were on there. I think they said that they stayed there through like 7:00. For all the evening news and everything like that. So, but though that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of volunteers that were a part of it because just Baja budget wise, we were just had Katie, you were out there. Our friend Scotty Swemba from Enjoy Wrestling replaced me for the track walk highlight shoots that we need to still get done. And we had a lot of student volunteers that helped out, which is great because our original line of volunteers went from 6 people that were actually apparently seasoned camera operators with the production company to 1 for some reason, and then we we asked the students, because a lot of students go out and they do the car pushing and everything out on the track during the race, and we ended up with, what was it, 8 people, Katie, something like that.
Yeah,
like we actually had to start turning people away because we only had 3 cameras. And all I wanted was 4 minimum so that people didn't have to be on camera the entire 4 hours, right? So it was great. We had enough people that people could swap every hour and everything like that. So it was a lot of fun with that. Also, big shout outs to, I believe this is Northwestern Baja, the Pink Hats. No story, by the way, on the Pink Hats. Oh, we didn't get a chance to talk with them. I wanted to interview them. That's right, man. Missed opportunities. And it's probably the dustest. These are the biggest dirt devils I've ever seen. They were like 3-4 stories high coming up out of the ground. There was basically a sandstorm during the last like 45 minutes and a little bit of rain out of nowhere during the last 45 minutes of this competition. It was incredible. So really, and just for an idea, no, that's I thought it was that showing how dusty it was. I don't think all my pictures have uploaded, Katie, because this is from like a couple
Oh,
days ago.
no.
Yeah. Like I don't think I've synced on Photoshop on Apple Photos just yet. But yeah, it was pretty incredible. So cool that we pulled that off. People are really excited. We had something about a regular of about 600 people watching at any given time. We're currently nearing about 10,000 views on this thing. I know SAE, our clients are very, very happy with the performance of it. Obviously, little things to fix up, like certain things getting presented there in certain ways, and things that we decided like, oh hey, yeah, let's do it this way next time, and things like those kinds of talks are happening, obviously, but that's going to happen. The fact that we pulled this together and yeah, it's like we do this all the time, but translating what we do in the back of like a gymnasium for pro wrestling or MMA or something like that is a lot different than going and setting it up in fighting the elements, you know, and everything. So in the heat and you know, and who knows what else and what is going to interfere. Like, we're pretty sure the sand got so thick in the air that it was interrupting our wireless signals. So that's a problem to consider now, you know, as we deal with this. Thankfully, hopefully not a formula, but for this one, that's the kind of stuff that we had to deal with. So,
well, not only that, I can imagine it was like stinking hot out there too.
Oh, it was
even though it's still spring, Arizona's still Arizona.
Near 90 most days. Thankfully, it was in the 70s when we were on track on Sunday. Does that sound right, Katie?
Yes, it was over 90. There was a day where it was 2 days where it was over 90, and then the last day it was like mid upper 70s, which was a nice break.
Which is good.
I sent you a photo.
Oh, wait, okay.
So you can show off one of these Dirt Devil.
Oh, you got one. Okay, hold on a second. This is honestly, I don't know if it's far off or is a tiny one, but that'll give you an idea in the distance there, depending on your screen or resolution. But
I don't think that's tiny.
No, it's just in the distance.
No, do you see how wide that thing is?
Oh God, that's one. That is significant.
And that was not that far in the distance.
No, that was not. Oh wait, there is video. Okay, hold on a second. I'm waiting for it to load. Yeah, well, oh no, that's got a play button. Nope, that's my flight. I don't know why there was a play button. Actually, no, that was just when I bought early bird for the Maryland trip. Why does it say? Okay, that's strange. Oh,
yeah, that's not very far off at all. That was
that's
one of the closer ones.
That's not even like that's.
Right.
That's exactly where I picked up my.
You can see
cart.
the power poles being engulfed there.
It was pretty crazy. Yep. I was like, there's people in the middle of that when they were in the middle of it was during the other thing. Also, John Deere. This was the pumpkin patch Marana pumpkin patch up there, and then everybody was really nice that ran the place and everything. Like, I love Josh Spivey and the crew up there in Arizona is always like, you know, the coolest organizers, like always got their stuff together. I mean, it's only their 5th event, you know, that he's put together. So, in different locations every time. So, that's very, very cool. Looking forward. Next time we're going to be out for Baja is going to be the second week of June. Not live streaming, but we'll be in Maryland, in Southern Maryland, Mechanicsville, I believe it is down there. And I think it's like there's like a peninsula that drops down. I guess we're out on that. I think there's a place that I was at like my second year of Baja, perhaps. So it'll be interesting to return and see how that goes and see if I remember any of it. So, you know, but anyways, so shouts to that, shouts to the SA team, and a lot of really cool stuff, and hopefully turning a lot of really cool, even cooler stuff here in the future. So looking forward to all of that stuff, and shout outs to sponsor Rio Tinto that helped make this happen as well. The guy was from Rio Tinto. I keep forgetting his name. Apologies, but he was with our buddy Scott, who's been on the show. Scott Schultz from SAE for the majority of those 4 hours. Did some swap outs with the program organizer and things like that, but he seemed to have a blast, and they were a really cool partner with that. So it wouldn't happen with all of them between the organizing this and people championing to get this done for the first time, so we can hopefully proceed. So that's it. Then that's it for all of our.
Thing of the week.
And giving a shout out to everybody that does support this show over at patreon.com/awesomecast. We are live over there with the Patreon only feed. We are before we go live or when we go to commercials on Mayhem Show, or even when we go to the next video that's going to be popping up here in a moment, you are going to get like the pure feed, no graphics, no filters, whatever we're talking about, and sometimes things that we don't really want to put anywhere else, including the Patreon recordings and such. So this week on Patreon, Katie, don't keep me honest on this, I'm going to read my performance reviews from the students in my class, my podcasting class at Point Park University. This will be a healing thing for me, I promise. But thank you, everybody.
I will because I am a patron.
Yes, you're a patron.
So I am very interested to hear that for someone else, because I also taught you at a university.
Yeah.
And
I got it.
I know what those are like sometimes.
Kids be mean. Kids be mean, man.
Yeah.
Kids be mean. So, anyways, thank you to our supporters at the executive producer level: Brian Crawford of the New Pittsburgh Exhibition, Cynthia Klosky of Shift Collaborative, John DeGore, and Dave Podner. Wait, you get another one. There you go. That's what you get for sponsoring. There you go. You guys can support the show too at patreon.com/awesomecast. Hey, the other awesome person is my buddy Chachi, my buddy from high school. I almost said the other thing. But let's go see what he's got in his video game minute.
Hey kids, welcome back to the Chachi Says Video Game Minute. Here's as much news that I can cover in under a minute. I'll try to stop filling this spot with just skin news, I swear, but Activision has announced the next operator skin, and it's Seth Rogen, continuing the stoner trend. They really know their audience. Twitch gamer Joel Z used Google Gemini 2.5 Pro, the highest priced AI model, to complete Pokemon Blue, giving only assistance when the AI model approached known bugs in the game, such as acquiring the lift key in Team Rocket's hideout. It beat AI model Claude, who is currently trying to complete Pokemon Red. And finally, a good news, bad news situation here. We officially have a release date for Grand Theft Auto 6. However, that date is May 26, 2026. So much for that 2025 release. The internet is predictably angry, but GTA 5 is still fun, so who cares? Thanks for watching this week's Chachi Says Video Game Minute. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Chachi, for that touch base on the social media. Can you believe we got four-story Dirt Devils on the AwesomeCast before GTA 6? But anyways, okay. But Dave, you got a pumpkin time coming up here in about 15 minutes. So why don't you tell me about 3D printed parts in a manner?
Sure. And this is something where it's not necessarily the sexy 3D parts.
Wait a minute.
Well,
no sexy 3D. No, I just saw the source. I just saw the source, and I'm suspicious now. Go ahead.
You mean the fact that it's my day job?
Wait a minute. Did you write this?
No, I did not. No.
Okay.
No.
I was like, If it was not on video, it's on the SAE Mobility Engineering website. So
yes. Well, I also subscribe to the newsletters we put out.
Okay.
So
I probably
that's
should.
where I can get some information that way. So, but this is also a Pittsburgh, because this is done with the 9/11 maintenance squad out by the Pittsburgh airport.
Absolutely. And also, just as a side thing, because we talk about SAE, some of us know it's a Society of Automotive Engineering, but it does also cover aeronautics as well. Lockheed Martin, for example, does the aero design event that we help out with on the video media side. So it's one of those kinds of things. So but anyways, go ahead with the story itself, sure. Dave. Sorry, I just want to make sure we had a prerequisite.
Also, there's a reason why SAE changed its name from Society of Automotive Engineers in 2005 to just to SAE International. Mainly because SAE they actually write more standards for the aerospace industry, both aircraft and space, than we do for automotive. By a factor. If
anything's important, it's standards in aeronautics.
Yeah, I mean, literally, if you've flown on a plane, something was designed with one of SAE standards. And and when you think about 3D parts, a lot of times you're thinking about doing these they can make 3D parts out of metals and very high intricate things.
Mhm.
And a lot of times it's, oh, we only need one part, like let's say 12 parts a year. Well, doing it the old-fashioned way is kind of expensive. Doing it 3D parts, because the volume's so low, especially in aerospace, it makes a difference. But in this case, it's for something that's kind of common. It's actually the drip pan from a laboratory. So basically, it's the bathroom drip pan.
Yep.
Literally, yes. You're talking an Air Force aircraft. You have the bathroom. You have the drip pan.
Okay.
But honestly, though, the thing is, a lot of the aircraft that the Air Force uses, especially the cargo planes, they're older designs. So whoever originally made them is probably not even in business anymore. Or if they're in business, they don't have the tooling to make the part.
Mhm.
So a lot of times it's like, well, this is, like I said, this is not a this is not, I'm trying to think of the a non-critical part, but it's still a part you need in there. So they figured out a way to do 3D printing to make this drip pan, because you think about, it's very corrosive. You have to deal with huge temperature swings and changes, vibration changes. It's a very demanding atmosphere up there.
Mhm.
But it's like, okay, there's we're not talking tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, like for automobiles or places in like buildings. Very low volume, like, oh, this one broke, now we need to do and replace this. Well, like I said, a lot of these planes and designs are so old, they replace the parts in the plane, but the original manufacturer moved on to something new. They're no longer working on this. So it's like, oh, we need a way to easily and quickly make this replacement part, hopefully on site, so we don't have to go somewhere else and contract somewhere else, and it takes a while for it to get to you. So this is something, and they actually are building a additive manufacturing. That's the industry term for 3D parts, out at the airport. It's called Neighborhood 91. So they're trying to get a bunch of additive manufacturing companies out there by the airport. So it's kind of putting together what's needed out there and putting the industries out there to get a solution. And something they can say, oh, we can do this. We can print this on our own. We can make it where we can just, something breaks, we can do a 3D print and just do a swap out. And they do say down here, might actually go down. Yeah, it says here, repairs are temporary and one-off replacements normally cost around $10,000. And the brand new one, the custom one they make, costs $1,200. So you're talking a 90%, almost a 90% cost reduction, because you're making this part, the 3D part, instead of trying to find someone to make a one-off part.
That's
so
awesome.
and they're even saying the new version's thicker walls, it's stiffer, it's better redesigned.
Yeah, because the biggest thing is like the materials, right? And we're getting to that point where the materials are really, and we've heard that probably for over the last decade. I think Katie, you and I have both had interviews with people like at Alpha Labs and things like that, right? Where they, they're people, or even, with talking with the students at things like Formula or SAE, there's these polycarbonate and other processes for 3D printing that they're like doing their bodies in. So no, very cool that this is a part of that. So, well, my pumpkin alarm just went off with you, Dave. Is there anything else you want to touch base on before we let you go?
Nothing right now.
Before Katie and I start talking about rocks for the next 15 minutes?
Nope. Go pound rocks.
All right. Katie, do you want to start talking about your rock experience so Dave can at least get a little bit of this?
Dave, do you want rock experience or do you want to see Cat Wars?
Ooh.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, love cats. You know what, though? Let's rock on.
All right. Oh, damn it.
Oh, yeah.
Intern
Should
John
I say Cat Wars?
Intern John is ecstatic at this wordplay, by the way.
I have none. I I did not prep with any of my new friends. They're downstairs.
I didn't have anything
because
relevant to say. I was just saying that I'm having a wonderful time.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm having a wonderful time.
Anyways, go ahead.
So in Tucson, Arizona, and learned that Tucson, Arizona is a hotbed of minerals, gems, fancy rocks, and cool stuff in that area because of the location. It's desert. It's near California. It's near Mexico. It's near all the things. And we found out that they have the largest gem show in. I'm going to say the world. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. In late January, early February. And so there's a lot of places that sell rocks, and we wanted to see what their collections look like. And I did my research because some of them were kind of questionable and some of them were wholesale, and you can only take so many rocks on a plane before, you have to pay way too much money and just leave your equipment behind. Instead, take rocks home.
Right.
We had thoughts of that.
Exactly. I mean,
but we
yeah, wait, wrong picture. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's a nice
sorry,
photo of us in the desert.
That's the sexy Tucson cactus video. Let me find a different one there. Go ahead.
Okay, so we ended up at a place. Oh gosh, I just blanked out on what it was called. Do you have it in front of you?
Wait, that's why I took a picture of the sign. Kino.
I did too. Kino Rocks and Minerals.
Yes.
But it's also under, what was the website name? I didn't want to lose it. It's Raining Rocks.
.com?
That's where I actually found most of the information. This is why you have a website, because I go, oh wow, I don't want to go visit these places because their Google reviews are random and they don't have a put things in around my camera equipment that's in my carry-on. I was like, oh, this is
just
space.
has, like, camera and rocks in a bag.
Yeah, so I was surprisingly not pulled for anything, but everyone kept telling us that's just what happens when people go to Tucson is they buy rocks, so it's not a big deal, and nobody cared. That's
amazing. Yeah, it was a good experience, and he did you a solid. Oh no, we'll talk about the organization he did when he was checking you out with your stash.
Bubble wrapped all of the rocks that we were looking at, and also put a slip of paper to remind us of which each one was called and what area of the world it was from. Because it was a lot of information, and we learned a lot about different things in the area. And yeah, so it was fantastic, and everybody pretty much found something they loved.
Yep. I felt like, of course, I was the one with cash, so I ended up helping people.
Dad.
I felt like Dad taking everybody to the toy store, but a little bit. It was really cool, and thank you, Dan, for walking in, because there was there's a no trespassing sign, but it was an open sign, so we're like, I don't know if we should walk in here, and then Dan just gets out of the car and goes and finds someone. I was like, well, last we saw him again. No, it was a really cool experience, and it was like the tarmac was right across the street. It was that close. And we're watching planes take off while this was happening. So, no, that was a really cool experience there. And I never thought to go rock looking. I feel like only this year I learned about this when I went out there a few months ago. And somebody else from another podcast I listened to was going out with their wife because she's a big rock fan. So but anyways, yeah, so that was what was it? It was Raining Rocks. I found the Instagram as well, and there was something cool about the person that owns it, not the person we were talking to, but the girl that owns the thing. Raining_rocks on Instagram, by the way. She was a photographer for what show? Meteor Men.
I think that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
There's the tiny dogs.
So
Women Who Rock Tucson. Suzanne. Sorry, I just looked at the description. Yeah, and how nice.
It's tremendous.
Yeah, but they have pictures of it with their dogs and everything on their Instagram. they have their dog. I don't know if you can see it. It's like in a pop-up one of those little pop-up cases.
I got here for you.
Soft cases. Yeah, there you go.
Dogs and rocks. Dogs and rocks. Dogs and rocks. There you go. So that's one I got to send to my mother. Anyways, oh gosh, what else was there? This was interesting. I thought this was interesting. There's a This is a Verge article, and this might have been for last week. I can't remember with the us being out for power last week. But this was an article from The Verge about the $20,000 American-made electric pickup with no paint, no stereo, and no touchscreen. The $20,000, by the way, is after incentives, so it's not directly, but it is, they're calling it a four-wheeled digital detox, right? It's very standard. They got a pickup truck and kind of a Jeep SUV kind of a model for this kind of thing, and it looks like the whole idea is they're trying to and it's made in the Michigan, Detroit area from the looks of things. Slate is the company. Let me pull off here so I can pull up that information again and refresh. Slate Auto based in Michigan. The American Key Truck, KEI. I'm not entirely sure what that means.
Yeah. Key, real quick source.
Key? Okay.
Key trucks are Japanese trucks.
Okay.
It's not a brand, it's a type. So basically, in Japan, when you want a truck to do something, you're not going to get something the size of a Ford, let's say F-150 or Chevy Silverado. It's basically we have that much cargo. How much little can we add on to this cargo area to have it go?
We had a very tiny Nissan Silver truck that seemed very utility, like it wasn't even automatic or anything that my dad had. And we both were around 6'4", stuffing ourselves in this. It was kind of a hilarious sight. And was it maybe something like that?
Well, think about a truck the size of a Mini Cooper.
That's what it felt like, actually.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that actually legitimately, and it was just like silver. It was like, it looked like it was made of the same thing the DeLorean was made out of. I don't know where the hell he got this, but also he always said it's got a sports car engine in it, and you'd rev that thing. You know what I mean? Like the thing could go. Like it was probably the peppiest thing I ever drove on a regular basis.
But basically, those little key cars are really made for Japanese cities.
Yeah.
And it's city only, so you're not getting on the highway and driving 60 miles an hour.
Yeah,
it's
we were.
So. Yeah, and good luck trying with those key cars because they're like really tiny little pup. But again, it's kind of like if the original Mini Cooper, they basically took 4 chairs, put them in a grid and put a little bit around, like drew a little form barely around them and said, okay, that's how big we want to make the car. Imagine you're like, okay, we want something with a 6-foot bed that's this wide. Okay, how little can we make the rest of the vehicle and shove that's a key car. They would, I don't think they pass standard here, but it's the idea is the same as bare minimum.
So this is a version of that. So and it says there's not even a radio. They said if you want to listen to music, you need to bring a Bluetooth speaker. You know what I mean? Like that's how trimmed down these goes. So they say that Slate's presenting, according to The Verge, its truck as a minimalist design with DIY purpose, attempt to not just go cheap, but also create a new category of vehicle with a huge focus on personalization. So the idea is you kind of get it's like getting a stock computer and then putting all the fancy stuff in it, right? So I don't think you just drive around this like stock unless you literally like, I need a vehicle that does this and I don't care about anything else, right? You get that. And plus it's electric. And if it doesn't have all those extras in it, that means it's going to do better than the battery because it's not running your radio and all this kind of stuff. I didn't see if it was missing air conditioning though. So 2 seats.
There is a climate control thing in it.
It says 2 seats and a bed big enough to hold a sheet of plywood. But it only does 150 miles on a charge. So this would be like relatively short range. So if you need to do short city hauls and just bouncing around, this might be the thing that you need. And again, I always say I think people think a car should be for everybody. And then we get into like the use cases when it comes to like the Teslas and the electric cars. Like I think it is like I think you need to consider it like the tool for the job when it comes to vehicles, especially when we're talking about electric, right? Not everybody should buy an electric. Period. We're not there yet. They don't have the right ones. There are ones that fit certain use cases that others don't. You look at a F-150 Lightning versus even a Tesla or a Volt or something like that. But yeah, great commuter stuff. But this is and I guess you put more stuff into it. I think, right? So
and you can wrap it.
And you can wrap it. There you go. Put a big AwesomeCast wrap around it. And
they actually have options, because I did option one out. You can actually select pre-done wraps in different colors and different things, and basically sticker it out. Yeah.
Didn't see. I didn't get that far into it to see that they were doing that. So, oh no, I hit my Verge subscription limit on this article. So, it's included in my Apple News, but to use it to show, I pull it in the browser and it gets weird on me. So, anyway, Slate Trucks. What was it called? I can't get back to it now because I have to pay $7 a month in order to do that. Either way, go check it out. Slate Cars, Slate USA, something like that, and you can find out more. But the wrap that you want to put around before.
I just want to say goodbye real quick.
All right, I was going to try to fit this in. I say the slate you want around it is whatever the May month of the Cat Wars calendar is. Obviously, Katie, what is that? So at least Dave can get a glimpse on the way out.
Yes. I got to go through the previous ones. You know the rules. Okay, what we do each month is we go to Cat Wars calendar.
Yes.
We've had what?
The best, worst AI and Photoshop stuff.
January, seek high ground for light, path to the light.
Okay.
February, we got trained for this. I have fuzzball.
Okay.
March. There you go. March, we had my powers of persuasion are catastrophic. Excellent puns. April was let go of the dark and hold on to hope as we fall off a cliff there. And then for May, difficult to see the dark side can be.
There's a dog on that one. It's on a dog.
It is on.
Is it like riding
in the dog? In the dog?
In
on
the dog?
It looks like it's riding the dog.
Looks like it's riding the dog, kind of like that thing from Neverending Story.
Yes.
Yes. Kind of just sticking out of the head of the dog. Yes. Difficult to see the dark side can be.
Aww.
I have a sneaking suspicion that whoever did that calendar did not go to art school.
I don't know. This is very high quality.
Or at least they didn't have a good GPA in art school.
Correct. Oh no, I painted June's. You have to wait. But yeah.
Ooh, leave us with the tease.
That's the tease to hold you for the rest of the month. All right.
For myself for the month.
What else we got? 7:54. Let's
Hi, Podner. Podner's gone.
Podner is gone. He's stuck around longer than I expected, so that's good to see. Hey, we'll stay on this theme a little bit. Katie, do you know GOG.com? Good old games.
No, what is this?
Oh, first of all, you need to go there, and then probably what I'm about to talk about is a splash on the front page. I think we talked about before about the game preservation that they do. Basically, they take a lot of old games. Think of like your old DOS, Windows 95, CD-ROM games from back in the day, your cool LucasArts games. Mega Race is the one that I picked up a bit ago. Jazz Jackrabbit. And they package these things so these games can, don't require your CD-ROM anymore. They're not terribly expensive. There's newer games on there too, of course, because it's kind of like a Steam kind of thing. But ideally, like they preserve the games; they don't go away. So it's so added to this, and they're doing this game preservation where they have even if they do not carry it on their store anymore, they will continue to support it indefinitely. That's because things change. I think the Warcraft and Warcraft 2 games were coming out of circulation because they were doing remasters, for instance, with in the last few months, but they were part of their preservation. So if you had purchased those, you will still have the originals because of course there's some discrepancy of like people don't like the changes in the remaster, let's say, things like that. In this case, Katie, did you play a lot of Star Wars, like the old DOS ones back in the day, like that era of computer game Star Wars, perhaps?
I did not.
Well, this might be the chance for you to check these out because I highly recommend some of these because they're ones that I definitely got to play back in the day on my old DOS machine. So added to this includes Star Wars Dark Forces, which was like the first first-person Doom kind of a Star Wars game, which was pretty tremendous. Star Wars Battlefront, I presume this is the original version from like the PlayStation 2 era. That was like that multiplayer battle game. Of course, it's been redone recently. Star Wars TIE Fighter Special Edition, which was a tremendous flight simulator for TIE fighters, and just they have the TIE Fighter Special Edition. They have Rebel Assault 1 and 2, X-Wing Special Edition. I will say, I think you should play Rebel Assault if you never have. I'm not saying it's a good game, but to see what they were trying when they did Rebel Assault, remember this is CD-ROM full motion video. This was the first new Star Wars footage that had been shot since Return of the Jedi. And this is like the early to mid 90s they came out. 1993 and 1995 respectively. So that is the first time. That was what was exciting. You're going to see Darth Vader footage that was brand new for the first time since Return of the Jedi. So
wow.
So really cool kind of stuff there. And they have other stuff, like they mentioned some of the other games that they get into, like Breath of Fire 4, Diablo, System Shock 2, Resident Evil 1 through 3, which is really important because Resident Evil 1, I can't even play it anymore because you need a specific video card to play it in that era. So which obviously isn't going to work these days. And again, to reiterate, they are saying in the version, reminding you that the preserved titles will remain accessible even if the Good Old Games removes it from its store, and says it hopes to have hundreds of games in the program by the end of the year. So, but yeah, and also these games are currently 75% off until the end of today, apparently. So we want to grab them. So might be a good time to kind of clean up on that kind of thing. So there you go. So yeah, so Good Old Games, they got some good stuff over there. Definitely highly recommend. And it is multi-platform. They do have, check them. There are a lot of it's PC, but they do support Linux and Mac editions of some of these games as well. So definitely worth checking out. So there you go. $5.99 for Dark Forces, by the way. $9.99 for Battlefront, to give you an idea where they're at there. And yeah, and it's usually pretty cheap, honestly. They're most of these Rebel. You can get both Rebel Assault 1 and 2 for $9.99 a piece, and are they just PC? I think they might be just PC. Yep. Oh, Linux. If you got Linux, you're in luck. Good. Have fun with that one. What if they run on a Raspberry Pi? Anyways, Katie, thank you so much for hanging out. More than this entire freaking weekend that we worked. So.
I was wearing my Dolly shirt, and I was like, Dolly, I need you today. Help me.
Hey, I'm wearing my Dolly shirt. How did this happen?
This is my emotional support Dolly. So
yes.
Help me, Dolly.
I love when I see that Dolly shirt at wrestling shows.
It's amazing.
Like, the time in Vegas. And that was exciting. KatieDudis.com for everything that's going on with you. You got anything big this weekend?
Oh, yeah. So Saturday is the strawberry Jello pretzel salad standoff, and Jagoff has been doing this for years now, and essentially you have several organizations. The chefs come out and make their own version of the strawberry pretzel salad, strawberry Jello pretzel salad, and we will be there. 412 Thrive, we'll be there, and with her name's Shayla Penn, Pittsburgh Eats and Treats, I believe. And she's got something fancy. I'm excited, and hopefully we're going to win this year. We've been last year we were there, and this year our goal is to win. And from what it sounds like, it's going to be amazing. Excellent. And it's sold out. Previous years it was free, and then it got to be too much. And this year they had to cut tickets off, and it was like $5 a ticket, and it's sold out already before the event. Wow. So this is going to be a wild day.
All right, Presso Jello pretzel, strawberry Jello pretzel mayhem. There you go. Thursday nights, of course, we got our Thursday Night Fights video training with our friends at 880 Wrestling School and everything like that. And those are a lot of fun. And then we will be here Friday will be the next edition of Top Rope Tabletop. Despite the fact that my T-shirt was wrong, we talked about it on Mayhem Show. I actually checked the Mayhem Show social media from today. We just, I am Mother of the Bride, Mariana. Was it something like that? So that was interesting. A mother out there is not happy right now, is what I gather from the situation. And yeah, and that's all I got. Call your mom. It's Mother's Day this weekend. We'll put that reminder out there as well. So for those who celebrate. And until then, thank you so much at Sorgatron to see all the shenanigans from this past weekend and those coming up in the next week's trip. We're gonna have a heck of a video team going up to Michigan. We are probably going to pre-tape next week's episode because we are traveling to Michigan next week, and there's so much going on. I cannot do remote shows right now. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have the energy, but we will aim to have something for a release on Tuesday for you guys in the feed. So stay tuned for that. But we'll not be live, and we'll be returning. And then, then there's more travel, and we'll see what June looks like. But anyways, either way, thank you guys so much. Thank you, intern John, for hanging out, and thank you, wife of the show, Missy, for hanging out as well. We had a studio audience here. And Lexa Sin is here, too, for the next show already. In the background. Whoop, whoop, yes. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time. Stay tuned for the Patreon if you're on there. You've been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at Sorgatron.